And welcome back to the channel where we talk about only good comics. I'm Brant, and this is Friday First. This is that series where we talk about those brand new #1 issues, character debuts, story arcs, and the like. And this is for books that are coming out on June 26th or June 25th and 26th. So, um, got a lot of books to talk about. At the same time, I've got a bunch of honorable mentions and then a handful of stuff that I'm going to talk about beyond that, and a lot of other anticipated books as well. No recaps because kind of the preamble to all this is that this week, or this weekend rather, I am at Superhero Comic Con in San Antonio, Texas. So it's been a really busy week. I have not had a chance to read anything yet. So I'm looking forward to reading all my books this week, but I haven't read any #1 issues or any other kind of books at all. I'm actually still catching up from last week. But I did want to give a shout out to Superhero Comic Con. It's going on right now. I was there yesterday all day. I'll be there to early afternoon. We're sharing a booth with Loops and Scoots Crochet and my Last Timber Press brand. So my sister-in-law, who is one half of the Loops and Scoops team, she's taking the morning this morning, and then we'll come in later this afternoon. But it's fun show. A little slower yesterday, but as Thursday is kind of to be expected. So hopefully it'll pick up today, and then Saturday will rock. The celebrities were out and stuff. I came this close to getting a photo with Laura Vandervoort from Smallville and V fame. They cut off the line because it was getting close to the cutoff time. So hoping to get there early enough to do that today, but we'll see what happens. Also, as I was at my booth, like towards the end of the day, Nasser from C.A.S.A, which is Comic Arts San Antonio, but he gave me this Read More Comics bracelet, and I wore it then, and I'm going to wear it for the rest of the weekend because it's cool. I like that, and it's a good message. So anyway, if you are in the San Antonio area, come see me at table I-129 or booth I-129 in Vendor Village. If you are at the show and you're in RS Alley, there are two doors that lead into the vendor hall. The middle one, if you go straight down that aisle, I'm at the end, or almost at the end. So can't miss me. All the books are there. Last Number Press, got a banner on the table, a bunch of crochet next to me. So should be should catch your eye, crochet and comics together. But anyway, that's what we're doing. So we'll be there through Sunday. Come check me out at Superhero Comic Con. So with all that out of the way, let's get into those books. All right, my first honorable mention is Dungeons and Dimwits #1 from Drin Productions. This is a Kickstarter and Facebook friend of mine. Drin Productions does a lot of books on Kickstarter, so definitely in that Kickstarter comic community. This is I'm guessing the diamond release of this book. I have not had a chance to read this. This is from James Mashia, and I'm going to butcher the artist's name, but Zona Carp, sorry. It's right there. You can read it. But anyway, James has been prolific on Kickstarter for years, and this is a Dungeons and Dragons kind of spoof book, comedic book. So it's pretty cool. A group of friends playing a tabletop role-playing game. We're sucked into the game, become own characters by an NPC that was just too powerful, is what it says there. So that's a pretty fun concept, especially if you're a D&D fan. So check that out. Next up, we have Hack Slash versus Seance Room #1. My good friend Kat Kamakuno is a Hack and Slash fan, so I wanted to put this one up there. I have not read a lot of Hack Slash over the years. I've read some stuff here and there, but crossovers are always fun. So if you're a fan of either one of these franchises, go check this one out. Written by Ben Goldsmith with art by Dustin Urban. Next, we have Resident Alien: The Book of Life, issue #1 from Dark Horse. My wife is actually a fan of the show with Alan Tudyk, so definitely wanted to shout that out because of that, and because it's a popular series. A lot of people like this book. So if you are one of them, go check it out by Peter Hogan and Steve Parkhouse. All right, now let's move into the books that are not honorable mentions. But yeah, this is fun. Giant Size Little Marvels by Scotty Young, and it is. I don't know if it's like reprints of the. Somebody asked in the comments here if it was reprints of the Infinity series. I didn't. I don't read any of the Infinity stuff until it does come to print, so I don't know. But art by Dax Gordon here. It's it's Scotty Young's classic Little Marvels kind of characters. Writing them in an adventure with art by Dax, so it looks fun. I don't know. It's just if you want something that's a little less serious, just a little more adventurous and fun, these kind of books are cool to check out here and there. So I'm going to give this one a potentially good. Because Scotty Young, fantastic creator, fantastic writer. And it looks like he's doing some of the art in this as well, which would be expected. So you're going to see some of those classic Scotty Young cover characters in an actual story, which is fun. Next up, we have the Thanos Annual #1. I'm a little tentative on this one just because the recent Thanos miniseries was okay, but it didn't blow my socks off. So, but at the same time, I like these characters, and I've followed this kind of story where the Infinity Stones got embedded in certain individuals, including Star from that Captain Marvel run, Quantum, Overtime, Prince of Power, and Multitude are the other ones. And Thanos discovers this. And Thanos, of course, has always been obsessed with the Infinity Gauntlet, the Infinity Stones, and all that stuff. So that's kind of interesting that he's going to be going after these characters that have all the power of these stones and trying to collect them. So I'm curious about it. Derek Landy is writing it, and then two fantastic, phenomenal artists in Sarah Pacelli and Salvador LaRocca are drawing it. So at the very least, this is going to be an absolutely gorgeous book. But hopefully it'll be fun as well. So I'm going to give this one a possibly good. Next, we have Anansi Boys #1. This is from Dark Horse, and this is by Neil Gaiman. With art by it's Neil Gaiman and Mark Bernardin. Sorry if I butchered that. Art by Sean Martinborough. So I'm not familiar with this, but it's Neil Gaiman. So definitely gonna check it out. I'm just gonna read the description here, a little bit of it. Fat Charlie Nancy leads a boring life as a boring Londoner until he discovers two things: that his recently deceased father was in fact Anansi the Spider, the trickster god of African folklore, and that he has a twin brother he's never met. Of course, this kicks off a bit of an adventure, and so yeah, if you are into lore and mythology and all that stuff, and you like Neil Gaiman's writing, and you like Martin Burroughs' art, any of those things, this will be one to check out. Again, I'm not too familiar with this, but again, Neil Gaiman, so I'm going to check it out, and I'm going to give this one a potentially good. Next up, we have Self-Help #1. This is a new series from Image Comics. This is by Jesse Kellerman, Owen King, Mariana Ignazi. The first two are the writers, latter was the artist, and it's one of those kind of you've seen those movies where and there's a ton of them. Vanessa Hudgens has done them. Various other actors have done them where someone's mistaken. Joey Lawrence has done one where someone is mistaken for somebody else. And in this particular case, this regular rideshare driver, Jerry, is always being told he looks like this self-help guru, Darren Hart. And so it kind of alludes to the idea that he gets mistaken. Something happens to Darren, and he gets the opportunity to basically become Darren and be the self-help guru, and how that's going to work out. So it's one of those movies which sometimes can be cheesy, taken to comic form. And I don't know, if they're going to go a more serious take, because it does say this is a pulp crime story. So it could be a very dark, interesting, twisty take on this concept, which is kind of cool, actually. So I'm going to give this one a potentially good. And yeah, I'm going to check it out because it sounds like a really interesting concept to me. Next up, we have Zatanna or Zatanna, however you prefer to pronounce it. Bring Down the House #1. This is a black label book, so it is a $5.99 book with a cardstock cover, just so you're aware. But it is from Mariko Tamaki. Mariko Tamaki stuff is a little hit and miss for me, but I love the character of Zatanna. I don't usually go in on the black label stuff, um, but again, it's Zatanna, and sometimes with these kind of side solo stuff, Mariko Tamaki does a really good job with them. So I'm curious to see this whole story with Zatanna, and magic has gone wrong for and that forever changed the course of her childhood. She'd much rather live her days with top hat and fishnets, wearing sleight of hand stage act, than bother with real magic. But now she's got to deal with it. So it's kind of at the start of her whole journey as kind of a superhero kind of character. So that can be interesting. So if you are a Zatanna fan, check this one out. As for me, I'm also giving this one a potentially good. Next up, from Mad Cave, we have Gatchaman #1. For anybody that is unfamiliar, Gatchaman is Battle of the Planets. In America, that's it was the kind of the same thing but under a different name. So that's these characters, and this one is actually written by Cullen Bunn with art by Chris Batista. So I've been excited, kind of low key excited about this one. I never got into Battle of the Planets back in the day, but I know they had a revival. They tried to in comic form many years ago, and I was excited about that. I thought that was decent, but we haven't seen these characters in a long time, and now they're under the Gatchaman brand. So yeah, it says one continuity, infinite possibilities. So I'm really curious about this, and we'll see. What this is like, but it sounds really fun, and they're doing like a lot of stuff. Like at the same time, there's like a solo like Gatchaman Kin story, and I think they're doing a bunch of one shots centering around different characters, and they're really trying to go in on this franchise at Mad Cave. So that can be really fun. So I'm going to give this one also no, actually, I'm going to give this one a promisingly good because all of those factors involved make it sound really fun. And finally, we have the long anticipated, long awaited Absolute Power Ground Zero issue #1. This is basically the prelude into this Absolute Power event that has been building up through several books for months, through Titans, through Green Arrow, through a little bit in Superman, and various books. Everywhere it's been popping up. Everywhere Amanda Waller, Wonder Woman, etc. So it's finally coming to a head, and it's got several headline writers and artists here. We've got Mark Waid, Chip Zdarsky, Gleb. I always forget how to pronounce his name. Melnikov, Joshua Williamson. Artists, we got Nicole Maines. Sorry. Nicole Maines, the writer as well. Artists, we got Dan Morris, Skylar Patridge, and Beacon Marion. So lots of superstar creators there, and these are all writers that have been writing various parts of the story coming together, and now they're coming up. And I don't know if this is like going to be an anthology thing where we're going to see little bits and pieces before we get to that main event. But either way, I've been excited about this event because I think they've done a really great build up to this one. And I'm excited to see what comes of this, like what kind of repercussions come out of this entire event. Recent events, I've talked about like Beast World and Blood Hunt, and I've talked about it with like a lot of trepidation. Like I've gone into it like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this, and both of those I've been like, oh, these are pretty cool. With this one, I actually have high hopes for it just because of the groundwork that they've laid through all of these and how it's involving the heavy hitters and all the characters in the DC universe together. And it feels like it's going to have lasting effects because of the involvement of Amanda Waller and the government in the United States, and the other factors that kind of spill into this. Everything that's been going on in the Bat books with Failsafe and all that stuff. Everything feels like it's just it feels heavy. It feels weighty. It feels Like it's, all encompassing, and it's going to have big effects. So I'm really curious to see what this one's going to be like. So I'm definitely giving this one a promisingly good. And all you superstar creators that have been writing fantastic books, don't let me down. So anyway, turn that promise into a positive, and hopefully, if this is that good, when we start talking about the main event series, I'm going to come into that with like, yeah, this is positively going to be good. So we'll see what happens with this one. This will kind of set the tone for the event at large. And believe it or not, that's all the books. No recaps again, but I am going to share a few of their most anticipated. And before I get into that, though, let me apologize if I've kind of rushed through this. It's been a long week preparing for this con. Then all day yesterday, we had to go in early and set up, finish setting up. We started setting up Tuesday, and then we went back yesterday morning for a couple of hours. I actually was late, so my wife and sister-in-law did the lion's share of it. But I got there a little bit before open as well, and then it was a long day. Then we had to go a couple of places after, so we didn't really get home till like 9:30. I didn't get in bed until after midnight. So yeah, it was a very long day. So I'm just trying to get through this, and I've still got to get ready and head out for day 2 at Superhero Comic Con in San Antonio. So again, come say hi. But anyway, let's get into the rest of these books that I'm looking forward to. There's a lot of them, actually. So let's start with Grommets, issue number 2. First issue I really enjoyed. Fictional meeting of Rick Remender and Brian Posehn as kids loving skateboarding in the 80s. Just fun. Next up, we have Feral, No Brainer, fantastic series. Rabies are the zombie, plague of the feline variety in this book. Enough said. Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider, issue number 2. I actually really enjoyed the first issue, and I'm curious to see why she's getting bleeding memories of the 616 Gwen, where this is going to head. So, fun book for me. Action Comics, continuing the Brainiac, House of Brainiac story. The Brainiac Queen is here in this particular issue, so looking forward to that as well. Obviously, still continuing in Superman number 15. This is where the fall of Brainiac starts in this book. Next up, Rook Exodus, issue number 3. Fantastic series, gorgeous, gorgeous art. This book is like top of my pile. This is a book that I have to have, must read for me right now. So if you are any kind of fandom like myself, you'll love this book. If you like the books that I like, you will love this book. But this is just a fantastic series. I love the Rook series. My favorite, definitely by far, of the Ghost Machine books. In this one, Rook and Direwolf are hunted by Ursaw, the Bear Warden, who we learned last issue was killing all the other wardens and trying to take all their powers for himself. So, yeah, very interesting stuff going on with that book. Next up, we have Red Coat, issue number 3, also from the Ghost Machine line. This is, it's really growing on me. I think I like Geiger and Rook Exodus a little bit more, but Red Coat is really growing on me. Snarky, immortal British soldier from, back in the day, red coats and all that stuff, and still like, saving the world, and a young Albert Einstein trying to lead him in the right direction to do just that. So, fun series. Green Arrow number 13, talking about Amanda Waller. In this issue, Ollie's going to work for her. So we're going to see where that leads and how that plays into Absolute Power. Void Rivals, issue number 10. Secrets of this whole thing involving these two planets come to bear in this issue. Really excited to see what they're going to unveil next. And finally, Blood Hunt, issue number 4. Talked about it earlier in the show. Really enjoying this series. Actually really enjoying all the tie-ins as well. I think this has been a really solid event for me. So enjoying that. And that's it. That's all I'm going to talk about. That's all the time I'm going to take up for me this week. Hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. It does help the show. Of course, hit that subscribe and notification bell if you don't want to miss any of the other content. You can check me out across social media and TikTok at Only Good Comics and type in onlygoodcomics.com in your browser to take you right back to this YouTube channel where we talk about only good comics. Until next time, thanks for watching. Take care. Keep reading those comics. Hopefully, I don't lose my voice before this convention starts today.